way, and that's called a hard drive. This is a floppy disk, and the computer also has another storage device in it. In fact, you can't see it. It's right here. What we have is we've taken one and opened it up. This is what is fitting inside of the computer. And you can see, when I lay this down here, you can compare it to another hard drive that we've actually taken from a Saskatchewan wheat pool grain elevator. It's been used for many, many years, but it surely shows us, this is a big old hard drive, and it shows us how a hard drive actually can work. A hard drive, it's hard, quite different than floppy. A hard drive is a storage device. And this is where a lot of problems come into understanding how a computer is actually operating, because people have a difficulty understanding how a hard drive works, what it does, and how they can actually use it, because there are many commands and different programs that you have to learn in order to know how to use a hard drive effectively. Let's compare it, though, to a 4-drawer filing cabinet, because that's what it is. You can put all kinds of records into it. You can store millions and millions of pieces of information onto a hard drive. It's encased in a housing, and it spins while the computer is operating at 3,600 revolutions per minute. So just the wind inside this housing gets up to about 150 miles an hour. You know, why am I mentioning these things? When you buy a Duncan computer, you're buying a computer with a 3-year warranty. We subject all of our computers to anywhere from a 48-hour to a 96-hour burn-in to eliminate 95% of the problems that may occur from chips that might burn out at the beginning of their useful life. We provide a 3-year warranty with our computer, and the idea of the chips burning out, this is not really where the warranty has any real solid value to you. The warranty has value in the hard drive. The hard drive is all moving parts. And when it's spinning around at 3,600 revolutions per minute, and the wind is whistling past the head at about 100, 150 miles an hour, and the head, in fact, there are 6 heads that are going over 6 surfaces on 4 arms, and they move back and forth in unison. And the distance from the head to the platter can be no more and no less than 1 micron. To give you an idea about how thick a micron is, my fingerprint is 3 microns. And if my fingerprint was on the platter at 3,600 revolutions per minute, it would smash into the head and destroy the hard drive. The basic elements of a computer: keyboard, monitor, floppy drive, hard drive, motherboard, and the boards that fit into them, such as video boards, scanner boards, modems, and the controller boards that drive the hard drive. Well, part of deciding what computer to buy for yourself or for your own business or for your home has to do with understanding the differences between the different computers that are offered to you. The Duncan XT or XT compatible machine or 8088 computer is a computer that has an 8-bit processor in it. Now, I found it easy to understand. It has an 8-inch pipe in it. And you talk about megahertz. Well, they say, well, I have a machine that's 4.7 megahertz. That's actually a million calculations per second. So if you have a 8088 with a speed of 4.7 megahertz, you have an 8-inch pipe with water going through it about 470 miles an hour. A 286 or AT machine, it's an AT compatible because we're relating it back to the IBM standard that IBM set. It's a 16-bit processor. It processes information 16 bits at a time. So it's a 16-inch pipe. And you can purchase it as a 12 megahertz machine, 12 million cycles per second or 12 million calculations per second. Or in other words, you've got water going through that pipe 1,200 miles an hour. A 16-inch pipe with water going through it 1,200 miles an hour. Certainly a lot more throughput, a lot faster machine than an 8-inch pipe with water going through at 470 miles an hour. Today, the Duncan XT compatible is a 12 megahertz machine. We haven't changed the diameter of the pipe at all. It's still an 8-inch pipe, but we got the speed of the water up from 470 miles an hour up to 1,200 miles an hour. If you have a friend or someone at your office who's running a 386 machine, their machine has a 32-bit processor in it. That means that machine is a 32-inch pipe, and it could be running as high as 25 megahertz, where the water's going through 2,500 miles an hour or 3,300 miles an hour. So when you're comparing one machine to another, try using this idea of the different pipe size. The 8088 is an 8-inch pipe, the 286 is a 16-inch pipe, the 386 is a 32-inch pipe. And megahertz, think of it in terms of speed of water going through that pipe. 470 miles an hour for a 4.7 megahertz machine, or 2,500 miles an hour for a 25 megahertz machine. What do you need? A lot of it depends on what you're doing. If you're just doing simple word processing and you want to keep the family's finances and play the occasional game and teach your children DOS and have some educational programs, then all you really need is an 8088. Certainly, if all you're doing is getting started, that's all you need. Most people, however, are going to buy 2, 3, or 4 computers over the next decade. And I guess that's kind of a surprise, because most people are having difficulty buying their first one. They can't conceive of the fact that they may be buying 2 or 3 more as soon as they get started. But that's the nature of our business. That's the nature of what they're getting into. The moment that they decide to purchase a computer and bring it home, they never stop learning after that. What this means is that as soon as you get started on the road, you're going to want to possibly upgrade to a more powerful machine at some point in the future. This can happen in 2 weeks, 2 months, or in 2 years, but it's almost certain to happen. And that's where you might be looking at the 286 machine, the 16-bit machine. It's faster, it can crunch numbers quicker, so that spreadsheet that now has spread out to 150 columns and 250 rows will recalculate instantly within 2 or 3 seconds instead of taking 30 or 40 seconds. When Helene and I started building computers, we knew we would have to come up with something that would help the average person that didn't know anything about a computer get started without too much confusion, to get started in enjoying their computer right away. At that time, we had nothing that we could work with, but we put together a bunch of programs, actually about 150 of them, and we put them together in a package called the Duncan Personal Computer System. We first of all selected the format that we're going to put them together in. We selected a menuing system that allows you to flip through the menu and select any one of 150 programs very easily. You select the program by using the arrow down or arrow up button, and then you just press enter or the return, and that program will come up on the screen and allow you to get busy with it. By doing this, we were able to include some very basic programs such as word processing, spreadsheet, and database programs that allow you to run a small business. These are shareware programs, and they're included in the price of the computer. If you start to use them, you may want to register with the author for an update, and that might cost you anywhere from $10 to $15 if you're using the program regularly and you want that update. But otherwise, it's free. We also included formatting and utility programs, diagnostic programs, so you could determine whether your computer is operating properly or not, and you could begin to understand the standards that we set for operating by using the diagnostic programs. We put 60 or 70 games that can be played on a monochrome computer, so you don't have to go out and buy that VGA color system that might cost you another $400 or $500 right at the beginning. It's enough to buy the computer. You can wait. Your kids will have something to play with for weeks and weeks with the games that we have put on the computer. Most games that are purchased on a commercial basis require a color monitor. We found 60 or 70 games that you can play on a monochrome monitor, and they're right on the Duncan Personal Computer System.